work. Good evening, Melrosians the world over. I'm Tom Catalini.
I'm Jen LeClaire.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Tom Shampoo.
And this is Let's Talk Melrose. Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose. We are available on all of the platforms, our home base on Facebook and MMTV, also YouTube and Twitter. And a quick shout out to John Trainer in Lunenburg, Massachusetts, who's our first YouTube subscriber and a Melrosian at heart. His stage name is Boutte. He's a blues harmonica player who often comes out to the local driveway COVID scene and plays some music with local musicians in town. And he can't get enough of Melrose, so he's dialed in from the middle of the state, and people can dial in from anywhere around the world.
Oh,
Jen,
awesome! He's gonna make Jason Shan jealous.
Right.
I just want to add, I think you mean COVID compliant scene.
Right.
COVID compliant
I don't think you want to call it the COVID driveway. You said the
Who wants to come to the COVID driveway?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
It's all outdoors,
Yeah.
but it's good fun, and John's a great harmonica player.
Yes.
I didn't know he had a full name.
But I know, right? You were like, "Who's that?" Right? Exactly. So, hey, speaking of your driveways and front porches and stuff, who's that? Is that Teddy?
That's
we have
Teddy
special guest Teddy Pickles.
Right.
Did you guys get something on your front porches today?
I did.
Yeah,
I did as well.
What'd you get?
And it did not say. First of all, it did not say "do not open" till Christmas. Oh, Tom's got his open.
I left mine closed as a gift. I did not.
Oh, good. So you're gonna have to mix that right up now. So I got you guys those presents with my takeout order from Tapas 529 with Emily and Lorenzo. So those are I had, and Tom Shampoo, you had. It's a Manhattan, and it's called the Jolly Jingle. And then Tom, Cat, and Sam, you guys have the Naughty List. And this is it's an old fashioned. I mean, right? Yeah, it's an old fashioned.
It is.
Yeah.
Since I have mine unopened still, this is what it looks like, folks. If you can see it, it actually comes with everything right here, all stacked up, and then the glass right there.
Yeah. So last week we'll bring we have someone who can talk a little more about this. So last week, hi Emily.
Hey Emily.
Last week 2 weeks ago, we talked a little bit about Giving Tuesday. It was, we talked a little bit about charitable giving. Last week, we all went out and did all of our kind of local retail shopping. And in that show, we kind of reminded everyone that you can still get gift cards to like the service industry, and our restaurants want to keep you guys going through this time. I know a lot of our restaurants are still relying on takeout. One of the ways that the rules have loosened a little bit is that you can, I go to Buckaloo's or Beacon Hill or wherever if I'm going to buy wine and beer and kind of stock my cabinets up like that. But when I go out to dinner, I like to have a drink, and so it's kind of nice that if I'm going to order my dinner, I can order a cocktail with my dinner as well. So we just wanted to remind people that you can do that as well. There's a little bit for everybody in this town.
Absolutely. There's lots of stuff out there. There's lots of takeout available. You have so many awesome restaurants right here in the city. You've got Wood and Fire. You've got Rising Eagle, Turner's, Giacomo's, Mexico Lindo, Tapas, of course, La Cuchara. Lots of, awesome options. I'm sure I left some people out. But gift cards, some people are offering packaged meals. I know that there's some places that offer like Friday night family meal or whatever it is, whatever you can do to support local business right now, including Lila Rose, Rada, Buckaloo's, Hourglass, all those places, Patrone's Pizza, Tenoch is new. I mean, everything, guys, they are all relying on the community. So.
Sorry, you're right, Emily. Thank you for pointing all that out. And Tom is giving my sound effect. I just tried to put something in the chat, and apparently when I type, it sounds like Godzilla is typing here. Okay, so Sam highly recommends the naughty list. The other reason that we brought you on, Emily, is like you were a sport and you agreed to my peer pressure to name one of these drinks the Jolly Jingle.
Absolutely.
And that is because Melrose, and Sam is going to give us an update, but Melrose is participating in Melrosians all over are participating in Give a Jingle, which is our meal kit drive. And you also, Emily, have some arrangement with, there was a Melrosian that had an idea to kind of partner up with you guys. So I'm going to ask you, Emily, to explain what you guys are doing first,
Sure.
and then Sam for an update on what Melrose Together is doing.
Sure. Well, we're super lucky. We have Sarah Orlandella. She's a awesome, Melrosian, as well as a great customer of ours, and many other places or local places. And she came up with this great idea to throw out meals to Bread of Life. So December 30th, we will be donating 140 hot meals to Bread of Life. And we're trying to drum up some community support to donate those meals. So you have the ability to call or order online. You can order one meal, you can order 5, you can order 10, you can order 50. It's up to you, but every meal counts. We're just saying give the gift of food. There are a lot of people that have not enough food, unfortunately, and not enough hot food. So it's not a sandwich. It's not fries. It's actually substantial hot meal. So you can donate on our website, lacuchara.com or tapas529.com, and or you can call on the phone if it's easier for you. But thank you to Sarah, because it was an awesome idea and trying to get the community to help out.
You said it's 150 meals?
140.
140.
Wow.
On December 30th. Yep.
That's super cool. So you can get a meal and donate it and get a drink for yourself, like get a Jolly Jingle drink for yourself.
Right, exactly. Or you can order a holiday pie on the website and then donate a meal. There's a lot of people out there that aren't in the same situation that we are, where we're blessed to have something to eat every day, and they need our help. So now's the time to give it. And they're local people. They're not just, this isn't, this is also people from our own community.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much.
Really.
Thank you so much.
Great work.
So you're an honorary member now of Melrose. You're in, Emily. You guys are, whether you like it or not, you're part of Melrose Together now, and the efforts that we're doing. Sam, what's going on with Melrose Together?
Well, first, let me fix this dog from barking. Thank you.
Emily, I think you have the calls coming in.
Guys, the orders are coming in. I gotta go.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks so much, Emily.
That worked perfect.
That was awesome. I was like, whose phone is ringing? What is
Can you
that?
believe that?
I
Who's
haven't
calling
heard that in
during
20 years.
LTMM?
Oh my goodness. Well, thanks, Jen. Yes, the Melrose Together cohort has put together a Give a Jingle again, which is you can go shopping, put a dinner meal kit together, and make a donation. The first 70 meal kits are going to housing families, so families with housing vulnerabilities and that are homeless. And then the balance after 70 will be going directly to Bread of Life during their Christmas dinner meal distribution, and they're going to hand the bags to extra families. So I'll put a link to sign up to put a bag together and donate it. Drop off, it will be next Tuesday, December 22nd from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the temple. If you need special accommodations because you can't drop off during that time, put it in the form. But to date, we have over 148 bags donated. And I say over because 2 of the folks who fill out the form want to donate more than 5 bags.
Wow.
So yes, that's awesome.
Cool. Yay, Melrose. Go
Yay,
Yeah, okay.
Melrose. My goodness. I mean, it's so fun to be able, it's like so heartwarming to have the community like really respond.
So I have to say, I was a little a skeptic, but I decided to participate in this. Yeah, give me that Sam Hammer look. Because frankly, it's easier to write a check, right? But we signed up to do it. I got the list. We went into Shaw's and Melrose. Everything on the list was right there, easy to find in the store. And I have to say, plus we got a couple other things down at CVS because there's a couple little extras suggested there. But I have to say, it felt nice to be actually doing something and sort of engaging in conversation and talking to the family about that and moving some things around physically. So there is something to be said for that. So it's a fun way to participate.
I
That's really
couldn't have said
fantastic.
that more perfectly.
It's
Well
so
done.
true. It's connecting the dots between the need and the people who want to help, which is, yeah, I can't believe that you were, as a side note, I can't believe you were a skeptic knowing that you know who's behind this.
I'm always a
We're gonna-
skeptic.
We're going to talk about this after the show.
I can't keep up with this crew.
Hell.
Listen, this is a serious program, and now it's time for the big news of the day. And the headline really this week is Melrose is in the red in a different way than usual. This is the designation for the cities in terms of the coronavirus spread or COVID positive test cases. I actually don't know the technical details, but one thing I did want to say is when that switch flipped, the city, I thought, did a really good job of communicating and a pretty complete message. I think I pulled it up somewhere. I guess it comes from the mayor. He does video updates and all of that. But I thought this was a pretty good soup to nuts. If you're not getting the alerts from the city, I highly recommend that.
Yeah.
It talked about the background, what's the definition, gave a nice tone about like, hey, even if you've been slacking off with some of your practices, now's the time to really buckle down. So I thought it was, we have access to good information and communication if you sign up for it and participate. But what do you guys think about this flipping into the red?
I guess, part of it for me is that people had been saying this for months and months, right? Once the fall hits and everyone's indoors more, it's going to be a very different place. And locally, nationally, I think it's hard to be here and to go through it, but it's also, the experts had all said that this is what's going to happen. So we should practice this behavior now throughout the spring and summer and in the fall. So we're used to it. So we know that wearing a mask and keeping social distance was something that we could just do every day. I've got kids in school. We all have kids in school. It's going to be a decision, I think, about what this means for the city, what it means for the residents, for the schools. So we'll have to see, I guess. But it's too bad. But this is where we are.
Yeah. What do you think, Sam?
I feel like we got a little lax as a community, as a state generally. We kind of knew better, and we still took some chances and risks going into places and the Thanksgiving rush, which was predicted, and still I'm going to say we generally as a community, but.
Is that what you mean, Sam, by lax? You mean like the Thanksgiving type gatherings or like something in terms of state policy?
Yeah. Well, like I was surprised I pay attention, but I was still surprised to hear that we're shutting movie theaters down again. Who would go to a movie theater at this time? I was saying the other day when things were kind of picking up on Friday night, I saw folks eating in a downtown Melrose restaurant, and I felt like at The Graduate, like, Elaine,
Lying on the glass.
get out of there! Like, what are you doing? So I don't know. I feel like we knew this was going to happen. It's exactly what happened. I feel for all of the families that are now either going through this again, or more families that are having this happen to them. It is community wide and statewide. And
yeah. Just one more note from me. I've looked at the maps like every couple of days, every week or so, the whole state map, and they have by town in the state maps, and it tells you if they're green, red, or yellow. And for a while through November, before Thanksgiving, October, November, Melrose was yellow for a long, long time, even when the surrounding communities were red. So as little as 4 or 5 weeks ago, Melrose was still yellow, while everybody else was red. So I think at that point, it's only a matter of time, because you can't, It's not just Melrose people behaving as they should. It's much more complex than that.
That's a whole artificial structure, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the virus does not respect county, city, state boundaries. So the whole approach has been weird from the beginning. And even recently, some of the regression in terms of Boston, Somerville, and I forget the third town, Cambridge, maybe.
Arlington, I think.
Whatever it was, but they rolled back, more aggressively than the state rolled back. But it's like, this is not something that could be managed that way. So it's a little bit of an artificial way to look at it. The country, the world is dealing with this pandemic. Thankfully, right, we got some good news with the vaccine, not only at the global and national level, but at the local level. I mean, 975 something vials arrived, I think, last night at Melrose Wakefield Hospital for the frontline workers, which was great.
Yeah.
Great.
It was great
to see that.
That's super awesome news. And I have to say, maybe I'm just naive, but I was really surprised by that news. I don't know if I thought that it was going to be this real, trickle down, like, oh, Melrose will see it someday. Like, I guess I just don't really know how the, how that whole distribution method works. But to hear that they're, and you're hearing it in the news in other places too, like you're seeing videos of it arriving in different places and it being on the trucks and whatever. Like it's getting out there, and that was, I guess I needed to see it before I was going to believe it. So it's exciting, and I'm really grateful that our frontline workers here in Melrose are start getting vaccinated and getting the care that they need. So we're on our way, but we still have to be careful.
Yep.
So we're hopeful, right?
Yeah.
Cautiously optimistic, I guess.
Yeah.
That's right. So in other news, there's other stuff going on around town, official meetings that we've been attending and paying attention to what's happening. And one I went to, which the city held a public meeting with DCR. It actually was a DCR meeting for discussing the Linfells and Melrose Street intersection over there. So the Linfells, or the Fells Way, is actually run by the Department of Conservation and Recreation at the state level. So that's not the city. So you end up in this kind of partnership, or the communities working together. But really, the DCR was running this thing, and they put on a pretty good presentation about the history of what's happening there. And they really just wanted to talk about the issues and listen for community input. Then they're going to sketch out ideas. They're going to make their pitch to the budget for next fiscal year, get more feedback. And some of this might happen in the spring, and then try and get it into the next budget so that they can start taking action on it if it gets funded as a capital project next year. So I thought that was encouraging. There were many local leaders in there. The Bike Ped Committee spoke up. I guess they also wrote a letter too. I thought it was a good discussion. A guy from who lives on Crystal Street, who feeds right into that intersection, spoke. So I thought there was a great cross section of people.
So what does that guy want? What did he say?
Yeah, you live there. Yeah.
He was, in my mind, the ideal citizen. Sir, if you're out there watching tonight, you have my utmost respect, because he's lived on Crystal Street for 20 years or whatever. He's got frontline view of everything, and he was very thoughtful and respectful. Because I go to some of these meetings when we used to do them in person, and there's less eloquent
and less informed,
less eloquent, less informed, and less polite.
More passionate,
fairly regular basis. So
more confident. It's a lethal combination.
He said, thank you for paying attention to this. Thank you for listening. He weighed in with some input, and he was open to a range of solutions. So cool. I thought he was cool. I'm sorry, I forget his name. He's on the record. He's in the part of the public record now.
Part of public record. So we were talking about this the other day in our planning meeting.
Yes,
and
you planned.
Yeah, we believe it or not. I shouldn't say that out loud. So,
but the parts are where you see all the stumbling and mistakes and miscues. That's the part we plan.
All planned. That's all planned. Carefully choreographed.
We walk away from those planning meetings, and my husband says, "So, what did you guys talk about? What are you guys going to do on the show?" And I was like, and I'm usually like, I'm not sure. Anyway, but you said something, Tom Catalini. You said something that I thought was interesting when we were actually talking about stuff in that meeting. You said something along the lines of, this kind of stuff. I'm just glad that they are addressing this, like from a citizen. Actually, let me back up. Now I'm talking from myself. But I'm just glad that they're addressing this. As a citizen, I can go through that intersection and recognize that it's a shit show, and it really freaks me out, and it's dangerous. I do not pretend to have the answers. And you made a comment like, this is something that's highly technical, and I like the idea of having faith in the transportation and city planning kind of experts that can address something that's as highly technical as this, and come up, take the feedback from the guy on Crystal Street and the Bike Ped Committee and everybody, but come up with the right solution. I would like to entrust them to do that. This is not something I would want to have to figure out. I just want it fixed.
Right.
Tom, you
that there is, and it is. I mean, that was one of the things that I took away when they showed at the opening of that meeting, and it was an online meeting. They showed the aerial view looking down on the intersection, and I didn't realize how much is going on there. Like,
That's
you've got
right.
these 5 roads coming in and out of there at one time, and there's also Dunkin' Donuts exit right into the intersection.
Yeah.
The Whole Foods entrance right from the intersection. So there's a lot, and then it's right out of high school. So you got kids walking to and from twice a day. So
you could not pay me
so much going on. Yeah,
you could not pay me enough money to be the crossing guard at that post.
Yeah.
Like that seems like that's craziness in there.
Did anybody ask for a Rotary? Did Rotary come up?
Rotary, it did come up.
Yes. So it came up and was not the favorite solution, but they were listening, and the Bike Ped Committee is big on that. But Commissioner Jeff Parenti, by the way, who's a Melrosian,
yes,
is the guy at the East, the chief of chief of something important at DCR. I can tell you because he was running this whole thing. So
did a great job.
So he did a great job. Seems like a competent professional. More importantly, he's a Melrosian who lives in the area and travels down there by foot, by bike, by car all the time, and was well versed in this. So, yeah, I was happy to see a competent team of experts and a nice cross section of citizens weighing in, and left me thinking like we're in good hands.
Yeah, and a huge public art monument to Melrose Marshmallow. Thank you for that idea, top fan Matt Dugan. I sort of changed your idea a little bit. But in the middle of the Rotary. There we go.
Right.
So one more point.
A big monument to Emma Curtis in the middle of the Rotary.
Oh my God! You got to make that part of the public comment record.
Tom, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Jeff made a distinction at that meeting between a Rotary and a Roundabout. And
Correct.
the reason he said Roundabout is more conducive to what they're looking to do.
Wait, what's the difference? I have no idea.
I can't speak to that. So
now we got to look it up. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to quiz me, and I'm going to fail.
Difference without a distinction. It's
I guess
maybe,
I'm not sure.
Maybe he's not originally from New England. I don't know, but it's
okay. So anyway, but the reason for the dismissing that idea was because there isn't enough space. So that's the only reason why. That would be an option. I think it would be an option if there was a room enough for it, but because of the tennis courts, because of the property lines, because of what's there already, there's no room to add space for a roundabout.
So maybe it was too polite, right? Because there was no discussion of land taking and changing. A whole bunch. People were like, okay, when you come out of a Whole Foods parking lot on Melrose Street, it's like, well, that's city property. Oh, the exit from Dunkin' Donuts. It's like, well, they own it. They have a right to that curb cut. So it was really a catalyst for the conversation and a lot of the right people paying attention. So it's definitely not a thing that can be sort of too top down, but if you get all the right people involved, I don't see why we couldn't push it a little bit.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna move us forward to the next because it's right there adjacent to that. There's also on the city website, there's a feasibility study that's being done for the Knoll, the parked area that runs roughly from the skateboard park up to the Little League baseball field, and then all the way across the northern perimeter of El Pond. All those soccer fields and grass areas over to
Melrose Street.
Right along, all the way to Melrose Street, all the way across the dog park, and then up to the very end by the other tennis courts on Crystal Street. So there's a feasibility study that's being presented right now. It's an open survey available for another week or so for Melrose residents. It's on the city website. I took the survey a couple of days ago. There are now presently three proposed possibilities for redesigning the entire 19-acre land property. So they're calling it a passive park right now, which means that essentially you don't go there to actively enjoy the use unless there's a game, a soccer game or some other sporting event. But no one really goes there to walk around or picnic or enjoy each other and kind of spend time. So they want to transform some of those areas into active parks. So they're looking, so these three designs incorporate outdoor classroom space, there's exercise pods, there's walking paths, there's two or three walking paths, path A, path B, path C. So these designs incorporate some pretty big changes. One of the designs even turns the circular parking loop, the one where all the high school kids park, with the war memorials in between, in the middle. Right now it's an O shape, and they're going to change it to a U shape. So there's two, as an entrance and an exit that are separate. So again, all that's online. Go take a look, and if you want to vote, you have the opportunity to weigh in. They're looking for public input, so we encourage people to go take a look at it.
I liked the walking paths myself, and I didn't know. As soon as that was pointed out as a thing that wasn't there, I was like, oh yeah. And so they had routes that could go all around the perimeter and weave in different ways. And like you can immediately see people kind of enjoying that one way or another.
And full disclosure, I play soccer with the adult league here in town. I'm on that property playing soccer, practicing and everything else once a week, maybe twice a week. I love it. I love soccer and I love the sporting field, but it does need to be more engaging for other people who are not playing sports. And so that's really critical, I think.
So under sports ball with Jen LeClaire.
Yes.
No, I really appreciate you saying that, Tom, because one of the things I thought of, and I guess obviously I'm a little bit late to this party. So I did fill out the survey and I made these same comments, but I wish I had kind of weighed in a little bit earlier, because when I look at all three options, they are all sports and recreation based. The only non-sports or recreation use is kind of what you're describing, like a walking path or, a promenade or whatever. But there's no open space for like, an outdoor concert or like doing theater in the park or something like that. There are other uses, besides recreation. So yeah,
I get you, but I mean, the soccer field when they're not playing soccer could be used for a concert. So it's not exclusive, but I get your point. Like you want to encourage that because
kind of a dedicated, a soccer field is also kind of wide open. You can't necessarily, there would be, I would say there would be friction there. Yes, Jess Dugan, exactly. There would be friction there about what you can or can't do on that field because it would ruin the soccer field or whatever. Like some space that's designated for different uses. I would be interested. There's plenty of space there.
The schools do oversee the use of that. That's not right. It's city DPW property, but the schools maintain first right, I guess. So that's why it's a sports field. They use it for the activities.
I understand. But the school has other activities. They have a drama club. They have an orchestra. They have other.
Okay, now you have me thinking, right? What about one of those covered areas where there's like a roof with no walls and there's picnic
pavilion.
Pavilion. There we go.
Pavilion, something like that.
There is a pavilion, but a different kind of pavilion in one of the plans, in Plan 3, I think, that runs north and south, if you can picture this, between the Little League field tennis court area and then the soccer fields. And running north and south from the water to like the middle school, there's a design for a pavilion with a sidewalk and trees and tree line, and looks very nice. And so but not stage and performance area, but
and performance. What about a swing set?
Yes, playgrounds are.
Well, we have
but there's not.
Really? See, I already feel like we have neighborhood playgrounds. Like we have that. We have that. We have Little League fields. We have a lot of things, but we don't have.
I want
these-
to
these
play
other-
soccer. Then I want to have a little sandwich in the picnic area while I'm listening to the performance. And I want the little kids to be swinging back and forth, and the dogs barking over
The
there.
dogs over there. Yeah, there's something for everyone. Yes,
People
Craig
walking
Holloway
back
says
and
the
forth.
Melrose Hatch. Put that up
There's
there.
gonna be chaos over there.
The Melrose Hatch.
The
Yes.
Melrose Hatch. There we go.
I'm with you, Craig.
Sam and I are doing it.
I'm with you. So there's an interesting thing. So I have a question about these designs too. So I was looking at, I was looking at all three designs, and I know that there was public feedback for having like a seating area, some sort of seating area. So it's kind of funny to me that the seating area is put like it's like across the street from Macaulay's House of Vacuum. It's like in the it's like up in the upper northwest corner. And it's hysterical because it doesn't overlook the tennis courts. So it's not for viewing the tennis courts. It's not for, it's not part of any other kind of space that you would use. It's sort of like, it was sort of like the last place they could find. Like, okay, the people said seating area, so we're going to put this over there. I could be wrong about that, but I just thought like, what is this for over here? Like it's tiered seating area, like for what? To like watch the traffic? I'm not sure. It's really bizarre. It's funny.
So very similar to our planning meeting. I have nothing to contribute to this because to your point, I don't have kids who play soccer, but basketball. We're not at the school yet. There was no reason to go down there. We don't go down there. I don't say no reason. We've done community cleanup. You pick up stuff, and then you have to go because there's nowhere to sit.
Right.
I will say when your kids get to middle school, because the Cabbage Patch, which is on the middle school front property, that's a part of this as well. And they're looking at maybe adding turf there or something else. But once the kids are in middle school, then you will be using that stuff a lot more.
Well, I entrust you three with my opinion. Just add one more survey response to whatever you want.
Perfect.
How about a bathhouse? You know what? Now this is a good brainstorming session. I'm going to the next meeting.
Yeah,
I want to get back. I want to get back to the show, Doc, and make sure we cover everything we want to cover.
And the monument. And where is the monument to Emma Curtis going to go? Huh?
Come on, guys. LTMM outdoor viewing pavilion. That's
Would the monument to Emma Curtis be that big marshmallow guy from Ghostbusters?
Yeah. Right. Yes.
60 feet tall.
Yes. We're gonna see if we can. So
that's right.
Speaking of the arts, we're gonna do this really quickly. I want to give a quick shout out, and maybe Sam, you can help me with this because you know a lot about this too. I want to give a quick shout out to a friend of the show, Alistair Mook.
Yes.
Who, as we know, his children's and family music album "Be a Pain" was nominated for a Grammy this year. So shout out to him. And Alistair, so there's 5 artists in that category. There's 5 nominees. Of those, they are all white, and there's only one woman. And so Alistair and his peers, 4 of the peers, collectively wrote a letter asking their names to be removed or for people to not vote for them for this, citing the need to recognize artists, various artists of color, typically underrepresented artists. And so I just thought that was kind of cool.
And isn't it a little on point that what was the song that he was nominated for?
Be a Pain. It's an activist song.
The
whole album.
Be a Pain, which he debuted live on this show when we were in the studio.
Right.
Yes, he did.
Sam,
absolutely right.
You want to add anything to that?
I know. You go ahead.
Sam and I are like reading minds.
I just think, we have the most amazing, beautiful people in Melrose. Yeah. And this is yet again another demonstration of the character of this community. So Alistair is he's my personal role model for so many reasons, but this was a big one in my book.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
It's incredibly, it's incredibly impressive. I would not be that big of a person, I guarantee you. I'm just being honest.
I think we should make some Grammys and send it over to him.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes. LTMM Grammys. I don't have
maybe we could get all the grandmothers in Melrose to do a parade by his house.
Oh, that's
The
amazing.
Grammys. Yes, the Grammys. We're sending you all the Grammys. I
We
like
sent you all of the Grammys in Melrose. Somebody send in his address. We'll get on this.
On it. Got it.
Okay, good. We heard you needed some Grammys.
Okay. Moving along. Who's got the weather report here? Tom Shampoo?
That's
weather.
totally Tom Shampoo.
I am so excited for a weather report. Boy, this is something. So people are, I'm sure, watching the news, but just a reminder that there's going to be a big storm moving in tomorrow night. It should be snowing around 10 o'clock or so tomorrow night. Snow throughout the entire night and most of Thursday. We'll be getting heavy snow. Could be a blizzard at times. But the weather says 10 to 15 inches. So this is a big storm, and luckily we're home mostly versus going in. But school, I think, ends Wednesday, right? That's next week. Sorry, I'm a week behind.
I don't know.
The snow is this week. The school is next week. Yeah, so half the kids are going to be home, which is better because the snow will probably cause a school day off, a snow day on Thursday, I'm sure. But that's it, 10 to 15 inches, and it should be a big storm. It's going to be up the entire
my hope is that MMTV replays a show from like 20 years ago of like three guys trying to shovel their car out of the snow from across the street from the TV station.
We can dig that up, yeah.
I've seen
Television gold.
it multiple times. It's good television.
Yeah, it is good television. I feel like my life is not going to change much with the snow day. Like I'm home all the time anyway. Like
Right.
it's like lost on me, really.
Yeah, I got a
Other
couple
than
of
cleaning
folks
it
that get out in the morning, so I'll be up doing the snowblower and all that.
Oh,
But anyway,
yeah.
speaking of good TV, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of things to think about. The city turning red and the COVID stuff is a little bit much, and there's a lot of things happening. Sometimes you just want to get away from it all. And what I'll do, sometimes I can't take the news anymore, or I've listened to all the LTMM replays over and over again, and you need a break. I go down the Christmas movie in the holiday seasons to see what's on, and I go kind of deep into the archive. So we thought we'd share this week's staff picks. Right? So I shared with the team one that I had seen the other day, and I could talk about it for hours. So I typed out a few sentences just to see if I could pitch it in a concise way. So
you pitch it first, and then we'll show the joy of the graphic.
Okay. So Jolie is a web designer who dreads the thought of going back to her hometown for Christmas when she finds out her ex-boyfriend will be there with his new girlfriend. She needs a fake date to make him jealous. Jolie's best friend Naomi has a brother Jack, a writer, with no holiday plans this year. He needs a website to promote his next book. Naomi has an idea. Jack can be Jolie's fake date, and Jolie will create Jack's website. Fortunately, Naomi is a lawyer, so when the two are hesitant to trust each other, she seals the deal with the Christmas contract. They each get what they bargained for.
There you go.
And just like it says, if you put that up one more moment, Tom, just like it says down there, love wasn't in the fine print. Well, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's a wholesome, good-hearted. It'll take you away from reality. And then
I guess I went to YouTube to watch the 2-minute video, and after about 10 seconds, I said, "Why am I doing this?" Because Catalini loves this
10
movie.
seconds. 10 seconds. You'll never get back.
A minute 45 of head scratching.
Sit down, gather the family, get some popcorn.
The 2-minute snippet on YouTube is her walking into the lawyer's office and sitting down, and then the lawyer says, "Here's what's going to happen," and she does the contract and all that. So yes, it's a wedding. It's a Christmas contract. What's more Christmas than a contract obliging people who don't want to do something to do something? It's fantastic.
It all works out in the end. No spoilers, but it all
There's no way I'm gonna get my family to watch this.
Right.
Anyway, okay. Let me give mine real quick. I did not prepare such a great marketing intro as you did, Tomcat. So one of my favorites is one of the old holiday specials. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, the animated 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So it's sort of a mashup of the famous poem, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And there's the human family and the little mouse family cartoon.
There they are. Look at these people.
How cute are they, right? So the poem is going along, and then interspersed with that, the town that they're in, I guess the year before, if I remember correctly, the year before had been overlooked by Santa Claus, and so the father is tasked. He's a clockmaker, and he's tasked with building this giant, town clock that's going to sing this beautiful song as Santa comes by, and he's going to be so impressed, and the town will be in his favor again, right? But the mice. Okay, show the mice one more time.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Please. Okay, the little guy with the scarf and the glasses. Okay, he's like the genius sort of tinkering son, and he's fascinated by the clock. So he wants to see how the clock works. So he climbs up into the clock that the guy made on Christmas Eve, and he breaks it. Kerplunk, kerplooey. That's what he says. And so then they have to. It's a weird concept. I don't know. Is that for me or the Christmas contract, Craig Mulway? So the little mice family now have to go and fix the clock before Santa Claus comes. And between all this is the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas poem story.
Yeah,
it's adorable.
Oh, fantastic. Sam, do you have one?
Sounds a little ominous though, like Santa needs to be pleased or you're not worthy. I mean, there's like some
don't ruin it for me, Tom Catalini.
Oh,
You just go back to your legalese Christmas.
Sam, do you have one?
I do. I'm sorry. I was responding to the comment about my chunky red sweater. I finally have worn a color. This is a color I don't have. So I do. I'm going to read the plot line to you. So this is a Christmas movie. Oh, I think part of my issue with this whole assignment was that I have a terrible memory and don't really remember my favorite Christmas movie because I just can't remember what they are. Nevertheless, here is one movie that I love that has Christmas in it. So Christmas time. After his girlfriend ditches him for a boorish ski jock, Lane decides that suicide is the only answer.
Oh my God.
However, his increasingly inept attempts bring him only more agony and embarrassment, filled with the wildest teen nightmares. So it is Better Off Dead.
I knew that.
Have Christmas in there.
I want my $2.
Yes.
All right.
It's true.
I don't know that movie, but it sounds like an emotional roller coaster.
Oh my God, you don't know that movie? Okay.
You don't know that movie?
So
Better Off Dead? How is that possible?
You don't know the Christmas contract. What are you talking about?
Okay.
But my second part to this recommendation is that I ended up watching another movie recommendation from a colleague called The Snow Day, which is totally appropriate for the rest of this week. And The Snow Day is very similar to Better Off Dead because it is ridiculous, starring Chevy Chase and Chris Elliott. Basically, they get a snow day and the kids have to have a revolution against the snowplow man to stop him from plowing the snow so they can have a second snow day.
Oh, yes.
I did remember that movie.
I think I've seen, I might have seen this.
It was amazing. So you would love this, Tom.
I love Chris Elliott. I love his old TV show where he was like a 30-year-old paper boy. I forgot what that was called, but he's good.
I have a couple of runners up that I think we have to just acknowledge. A hat tip to Elf, which is a great Christmas movie. Hat tip to A Christmas Story, Ralphie, Drink Your Ovaltine, and all that. Great. Can't beat that, right? The fragile, the leg lamp.
Yep.
I always loved How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It was always a joy every year as a kid. But my movie, I feel that the men tonight are bringing the heart and the soul of Christmas. Tom and I both have movies that are far afield from what you guys are talking about. My movie is Love Actually. And so Love Actually, I'm not even going to read the line about what it's about. I'm just going to read the list of people who are in it.
Okay.
Tom's Christmas contract has Hillary Burton and Robert Buckley. Sure. Great actors, people you want to see every day.
Right.
Love Actually starts with Hugh Grant as Keira Knightley, and then Alan Rickman shows up, and then suddenly Emma Thompson's married to him, and then her brother is Liam Neeson. Colin Firth shows up later, and then Billy Bob Thornton's the president of the United States, and then Claudia Schiffer shows up. Like, everybody shows up in this movie. It's fantastic.
Wow. Okay.
So Love Actually is fun. It's a very sweet movie. It's a little schmaltzy, but it's actually a nice story. So.
Wow. All right. I know what I'm going to be doing during the snow day. I'm going to be watching all these.
Since people are cheating and mentioning multiple, I was going to save it for next week. But I'm going to recommend, and I just now noticed the legal theme here, but the rooftop Christmas tree. Have you seen this one?
No.
Sarah's lonely neighbor has had a rooftop Christmas tree each year since Sarah was a child. Lately, he's been arrested for it. This year, Sarah is back in town as a lawyer, sitting with him in court. Why is this tree so important? It's a roller coaster ride. It's a cliffhanger, tear jerker.
Look at this. They're all going to go up here. Look at that.
All right,
Staff
fabulous
picks for the movies.
Okay, so we have lots. All of Melrose, we have lots to watch during the snow day. And if you have time, there's still one more very important thing that you should start with, and you should just not miss. Right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow. So some cross promotion here. Shout out to our friend and former co-host, but always Let's Talk Melrosian, Steve Koczela of the Horse Race. So apparently Mayor Paul Broder is going to be on the Horse Race podcast tomorrow with Steve Koczela and his team. So check that out. It's a great show anyway, all the time. And tomorrow he has Melrose's own to talk about. I think to talk about like the mayor's responses statewide to COVID, right? And
yes, I think he and some other municipal leaders wrote an op-ed piece in a Commonwealth magazine. Deep dive, and the Horse Race is a great podcast.
Yeah,
they're recording that tomorrow. It'll drop in the evening, so I'll be pacing back and forth, hitting refresh all afternoon. And as soon as it comes out, you just get on it, and we'll get the latest from our mayor and our protege.
Exactly. Awesome.
And with that,
hopefully that they could stay 6 feet apart because they literally only live 12 feet apart. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Come to the fence.
Stay on the other side of Wyoming, Paul.
Yeah, maybe they're broadcasting from across Wyoming.
They're gonna have cans and strings, is what they're gonna have across the road.
Exactly.
All right, that sounds good.
I think that's a wrap, right?
And enjoy your jolly jingle and your naughty list.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tatas.
Right. We'll see you around town.